It's hot. Alright guys, so we got a, oh wow, that looks weird. Ah! Don't put that part in there. Shiner, sponsor a good old Texas boy. Me. What's up guys, welcome to part 2 of how to install a fuel cell. So last time y'all saw us install or put a top brace support bracket for this inside of the Z. If you haven't seen that episode, make sure to check that out. It'll get you to the point that we're at now. So in this episode, we are going to make a bottom support. That way, this thing doesn't go anywhere. And all we're going to do is put some angle iron around it. So I've cut out a few pieces already, as such. And they're basically just going to go on here like this. So we do have we have two 1x1 pieces of square tubing up at top. So this is 2 inches from the top. I've already measured it. But what we'll do is we'll put the fuel cell in there, put these in there, tack them up where they need to be, and then we'll be good to go. That way we can tack it up, pull it out, and then we'll weld it on the bench where my backpack is. With my backpack on there. I'm just kidding, not really. So what we're gonna have is 4 of these small 7.5 long inch pieces on the sides, and then we'll have 4 at the bottom being the surround, and then we'll have 4 more at the top being a surround. And what that's going to do is we'll take those pieces and we'll be able to bolt them into our existing piece, which we have a bunch of bolts here except for one because I didn't buy it at the store. I only bought 7 like an idiot. These little nuts right here we'll take off and we will weld them to the top of our fixture. That way we can just use the bolts from the bottom, bolt it right up. Mostly because I didn't want to have to do a bunch of upside down welding, and now it's removable, which might, I don't know, I might weld it up at the end of it, who knows, but for right now it's going to get bolted in. So I've already cut out the 7.5 inch piece and the 226 long inch piece for the long side. Now I just need 2 18 inch pieces, and then we'll also have to do the tops as well. So let's get on to doing that. Alright guys, so what we're doing here is holding our angle iron that we've cut up and have corners on and everything. We're holding them up with clamps. Now we only have 2 clamps at this side and this side over here held up. What I'm going to do is I'm going to tack it down here at this corner, and then I'll tack it in like 2 different spots so that way it's sturdy. And then what I'll be able to do is move one of those clamps and just kind of work my way around until the whole thing is tacked up. We will be able to come back, mock it up again, and we'll start on our down posts that are coming down the side, and then the posts that are going to be wrapping around the bottoms here. We'll be able to tack those in as well, and then pull the whole thing out, fully weld it, and then we'll move on from there.
A few moments later.
Alright guys, so we got it all tacked up underneath the car except for this one piece. So I pulled the fuel cell out, had it flipped over, put it on a couple boards so it's not resting on any of those fittings. But all of them came out about this way right here. So there's a little gap, but nothing that a little bit of weld and flat disking can't fix, you know? I wanted to make sure, get it off here. I'm gonna tack all these up, and then I will pull the fuel cell off and away and finish up the welds, and I'm gonna make sure to do them pretty spaced out, pretty far apart. That way it doesn't warp at all. I don't really want to deal with having to shove this thing down in there every time. We'll be able to mock up the rest, like what I said before, that you don't have to put in there. Don't worry, just put the first half, whatever said on this thing. We're gonna finish welding up that. guys, so off camera I made this first little bracket that goes on the short side underneath. It's really hot right now, or I'd show you because I just finished welding it up. But I tacked it underneath the car and then welded it up off of it. It goes right on that side. So now I'm going to make the exact same thing on the other side, and this time I'll try to do it on camera.
I see the light that burns!
And we have two that are pretty much exactly the same. Sweet. Alright, as y'all probably saw, on these long pieces here, sorry I'm not going to touch it because I just finished welding it up. On these long pieces here, I left this gap, and that is purely on accident, so I thought I'd make it double, and I did it on the other one as well. Really, I didn't account for the space needed down here when I didn't account for the thickness of the metal when I made my measurements, so that's there. It's going to be fine. It's plenty strong. I just tried to like bend it, and really this is just the just-in-case piece, you know. If everything hits the fan, this is what we have. So we should be perfectly fine with this. The next step is to take these with our brace that we made earlier and go ahead and put those together, make sure they're square. We'll go ahead and tack those on, and we'll place the fuel cell inside of it. And then we'll take our long pieces over there, way over there on the bin. We'll take these and those and weld them, and everything will be welded and it'll be good to go, and then we can start to paint it. It's not very pointy. It needs to be pointier.
I wanna find you.
Alright guys, so we got this whole thing welded up. I test fit it off camera. It fits up great, so that's a big plus. Glad I don't have to cut it up and redo it. So everything's welded up, it's strong, it's secure. I did hit it with a coat of rust reformer. Because there's a little bit of surface rust, I don't want it to grow over time. This rust reformer neutralizes it and makes it to where now I don't have to worry about it in the future. Tomorrow, after this cures for 24 hours, tomorrow I'll come back and hit it with a couple coats of black, and then we'll put it up in the car and, you know, finish up the episode. We'll cut to the pretty end production of this. So I only made this hand tight for now, just to show y'all, but here is the, I guess you could say, cage that's going to go around the fuel cell. It's strong, it's painted, it's clear coated. It's on there. They're only hand tight for now because the next part of the project is filling up all these gaps that are around here. We'll use a bunch of cardboard from random moving boxes and different things like that that I have laying around. We'll cut those out with a razor blade and make them all nice, but you'll see all that in next week's episode. So I'm going to go ahead and put the fuel cell in here so y'all can see exactly what it's going to look like. So this really does lay down in here really well. It's sturdy, it doesn't jiggle. I'll show you all the bottom so you can see that everything is fitting up really tight. I'm really happy with the way this came out. It's not finished yet, but it's getting close and it's getting to a point where it's acceptable. So I'm happy about that. Alright, so as y'all can see, it fits up perfectly right in the corners and everything. Sorry I really don't have a good shot. There's not a lot of room back there. So I'll get a better shot when the car moves out and everything. And if anybody's wondering, we left plenty of space for the diff back here to fit up and everything like that. That was one of my main concerns when I started this project. Alright guys, that is going to do it for this episode of part 2 of how to build a fuel cell. Next episode, we're going to be making templates to cover up all the holes in the back. Cut these out in metal, weld them up. We're going to do some plug welds, some butt welds, all that good stuff to make sure it looks really pretty back there and integrate with our whole rear end.
He said it was called a butt.
Wow.
If you haven't yet, make sure to hit the like button down below. Literally takes like 2 seconds and helps the channel tremendously. It really does, with the whole algorithm and all that nonsense. And if you haven't subscribed, make sure to do that so you don't miss out on our future Datsun content that's coming out. We've got a lot of new parts here. Our coilovers have been sent off. I don't know when they're coming back. Hopefully it's soon. But we should have the fuel cell in the car ready to go at that point in time. And who knows, maybe this thing will be a roller before you know it, and we're having to look at engines. So that'll be exciting. Anyway guys, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share with the people that you think would like this content, and I will catch y'all next time. Boom, done.